Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Easy Weeknight Cooking with Heart's Desire Spice Blends. We are in the house. So anyway, what we're doing tonight is a really wonderful spaghetti recipe. I don't know anybody who doesn't want one. So we're going to have a really basic ingredients list. Tell Prego to get out of your kitchen. Same with ragu, because this is going to totally beat them out. So what are we going to need? 2 16-ounce cans of tomato sauce, 1 16-ounce can of stewed tomatoes. If they do not say 16-ounce down here, that's okay. You're looking for this size. 1 6-ounce can of tomato paste, 1 medium onion, 1 tablespoon of Italian herbs, yum, 1 pound of Italian sausage or ground meat of some sort. And what are we going to do? We're going to start off by cutting up our onion. You're going to start off by giving this guy a slice. Then I'm going to cut it in quarters, cut off the stem end, do that again, cut off the stem end. Now this becomes super easy to peel all of a sudden. Sometimes you're going to need to peel off just the outside layer because you get this weirdness going on here. That's going to be paper that you're not going to want to keep. You're going to be leaving some stuff on that root end because that root end makes a beautiful handle. Meanwhile, what I can do is make cuts to but not through the root end. This will allow me to get as fine a dice as I really care to have. And now I can go ahead and give it a quick dice. So we need a Dutch oven. I love these enameled Dutch ovens. Absolutely adore. And I'm gonna throw just a little bit of oil in the bottom here. Only about a tablespoon or two. From there, I'm going to let this go ahead and heat up. We are going to be throwing our onions and our meat right in here so that we can brown them, develop a lot of great flavor. We're also going to throw in our tomato paste after these are browned. So I'm going to use the back of my knife. We already have some sizzle going on. So you can just toss your onions a little bit. Make sure they're coated with the oil and evenly spaced across the bottom of your pan. Then gonna go ahead and toss in your meat and just give your Italian sausage full contact with the bottom of the pan so that you get some good browning. Things get done most of the way through. You're not going to be cooking this terribly long once you start putting in your tomatoes. So make sure this is pretty much done by the time you're putting in your tomatoes. That's very important. And when you're using ground meat, you're just going to brown it here. Absolutely. Now, if you are in a real fast hurry, you can cover this. It will reduce the browning that you get on there because you're going to be steaming things more than browning, but you can do that. And it will not sacrifice a ton of flavor, but there will be just a little bit missing. So for the sake of camera time, I think I can actually cover this. Let me tell you also about an ingredient I did forget. We're going to be adding half a teaspoon of sugar once we start adding our spices and such like that to this pot. Why? We're balancing the acidity. And when you're dealing with tomatoes, there's a lot of acidity going on. That's one of the reasons why we put the fennel in the Italian herbs. So I'm gonna go ahead and check on this. Give this a stir. I have a little bit of browning going on the bottom of my pan already. This is great. And I'm going to give this a shake now so I can make sure you've got full contact with the bottom of the pan with as many of my ingredients as possible. Gonna give it another turn. One of my favorite things in spaghetti is Italian sausage because it gives it that really beautiful depth of flavor. Now, if you take a look at here, you can see some of that casing there on the Italian sausage. And I don't know, there's something about the texture of the casing that I really, really love. Not everybody does. I don't know. It's just one of those texture things of, you've got something really rich when you've got that casing and you've got medallions of Italian sausage in your sauce. Okay. What we have here is a good amount of browning on the bottom of our pan. Our sausage is also browning, and our sausage mostly done. Give yourself a small area on the bottom of your pan. We are going to brown our tomato paste. Just put that right on in. Spread it around. Going to wait for tomato paste to just kind of change character a little bit. And so that you get a lot of that just raw tomato flavor out of the tomatoes, so it'll just enrich in everything. One thing you'll have to look out for, tomato paste has a tendency to burn on the bottom of the pan. So as you see things just really starting to darken too much, that's when you want to go ahead and put in your tomato sauce or your stewed tomatoes. I like to put in the stewed tomatoes first because they've got a thinner liquid to them, and I can start bringing up some of that great stuff on the bottom of the pan. Oh boy, the browning on the bottom of this pan is gorgeous. And what does that mean? The browning on the bottom of the pan means extra flavor. This is the sugars caramelizing. Oh, and this is going to thicken almost right away because of that tomato paste. And we're going to do this in stages. I'm scraping up that beautiful fond off the bottom of the pan. And when you get fond developing on the bottom of the pan, that's what that browning is called. It means that you've got proteins and sugars caramelizing to the bottom of the pan. So that is not something you want to throw out. That is something you want to keep at all costs, as long as it's not burnt. So that is 1 can of tomato sauce. I'm gonna stir it in before I start scraping the inside of that can. And we have a very thick sauce right here already. Look at that. Isn't that amazing? And looks like we've got a good amount of stuff up off the bottom of the pan. Yay. Now that this is less time critical, I don't have anything threatening to burn to the bottom of the pan, I can put my attention to the last can. Pour that in. This will give you a little bit of time before things start bubbling at you, because this takes down the temperature of the contents of the pan so it doesn't start boiling at you right away. That is what I'm talking about. That is beautiful. Now that everything is incorporated, you've got a beautiful texture all the way through your pan. It's time to throw in your Italian herbs and your itty bitty bit of sugar. And remember that sugar is there to take down the acidity. You can do without it, but it's going to be so much better if you don't. We are definitely bubbling over here. Every day we're bubbling over here. Or at least we hope, right? I need to taste this stuff. How pretty. Now, did I tell you or what? This is a very easy, quick dinner, and with a lot of that baked in taste. Look at that. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So, what do you say we take a taste? This stuff is really piping hot. You're going to put this over your favorite pasta, of course. Get a piece of that sausage. Oh my gosh, that is so good. And the tomato sauce is wonderfully bright. Oh my gosh, that's so good. I just got a bite of onion. And with this low cooking time, you're going to be able to taste a lot of the flavors that go in and out of this. So you're going to be able to taste flavors that surround the Italian sausage, the onions, the whole 9 yards. And it's so bright and tasty. It tastes so fresh, and it is so wonderful. And it's even better the next day as usual. Absolutely. Now, can you put this in a crock pot? Yes, put it in a crock pot before you leave for work, and you will have that 2-day baked taste when you get home. You can just go ahead and throw everything in and let it go. You will not regret it at all. So, from our kitchen to yours, that is the best spaghetti. From Heart's Desire Spice Blends, you guys keep things tasty, and I will see you next week.